Hello everybody, I'm here with Tareth, my friend Tareth.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about a workshop which we are putting together, a series of workshops starting in November, based on the principles in my new book, Your Zodiac Soul. We're producing a series of workshops called the Healing Songs of Your Zodiac Soul, bringing both of our interests and abilities together. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to work with the 12 gateway medicines of the Zodiac, which I talk about as the 12 gateways to wholeness. And we're going to be entering into the deep medicine of each Zodiac sign in turn over these 3 weekends. We're going to be doing 4 signs each weekend. And we're calling it the Healing Songs of Your Zodiac Soul because as part of this process, as well as going really into the, looking deeply into both the healing potential of each sign and the shadow aspect of each sign, we're also going to be diving into the healing sounds and the healing songs of the Zodiac, and this is where Tareth comes in with his particular gift. Can you say something about that, Tareth?
I can, yes. To start with, everything has a sound. Physical matter, subtle matter, soul, everything has a vibrational sound. And it's been part of my life to be able, on particular occasions, to link into these vibrations, and I use the crystalline energy of earth to help it focus. I can make these sounds audible. They manifest in a physical way. And as John said, it's about these gateways and the healing effects, because in each gateway there are different frequencies, different parts of healing and dealing with the light and the shadow. And my part in it is to use some meditation and some principles of ancient alchemy, and then to bring the frequencies of sounds and their meaning and their healing qualities into a physical way, so that you'll be able to hear them and work with them in the meditation. And also, of course, they'll be recorded so that they can then be used at a later time. I think that's, I hope that's clear.
And it's an extraordinary thing to be in the presence of these sounds. We've worked together in the past, bringing through, where you brought through the sounds of the planets.
Oh, it was a wonderful experience.
We did
Wonderful experience, yeah.
We did it over several weekends, and it was an extraordinary thing, and really deeply transformational for everyone who attended it.
And I think I will add also that because sometimes people, I call it a manifestation, some people a miracle, the purpose of it is simply to open up the mind of the people more. Because when you hear something physically that comes from a non-physical place, it does help open channels and builds different pathways in the brain, and that stays with you and it helps you go deeper into it. That's its purpose. In the end, it's not about me, it's about what you can get from it that will always be there for you.
And when the sounds are brought through, we will already have gone really deep into where each of these zodiacal energies actually sits in each of us, working on the basis that we carry the whole of this medicine wheel of the Zodiac within us. And that, this is a very ancient idea, is that if we can bring balance and integrity and a level of deep understanding and compassion to each aspect of this soul wheel, this wheel of the soul, then we can experience the wholeness that we are. That's really what this is about. This is my main theme in my work is the idea of wholeness, that we are born whole, that we forget that we're whole, and that our psyche gets fragmented by all the contradictory demands that and experiences that we have in life. But this is a way of recovering this wholeness. And for wholeness, we could replace healing, and I think that this is where we want to bring in really the explicit healing energy potentially. So as we worked with these 12 perspectives, each in turn, in the order that they occur in the wheel, then we can get a direct healing experience
Yes.
of each extraordinary.
I think it's important what you say, that everybody has this wholeness in them. They have the knowledge in them, and spiritual work and unlocking it is about becoming more aware of it. It's already there, and I think that's where the value is of putting these together, because it's in everything, and the soul that you are contains all this knowledge. And if we can start bringing it more into the conscious mind, it's great guidance, it's great healing, and the connection you feel with the miracle you are. I often say to people in a group, I know this is not strictly astrological, but it is in its own way, because obviously everything in the physical universe is part of what happens astrologically, that if you take the human genome of one human being, which of course is microscopic, but if you stretch all the vortex of it and the chemical links, if you stretch them into one thread, they would go to the sun and back 4 times, which is amazing. We've got that inside us, and inside that physical is this subtle level, and the sounds will represent making contact with that, and how each gateway influences it, and how you can learn from it.
Mm. So in one sense, these sounds are going to make audible the constellational energy, but as we experience it as human beings in the world as well. So in a way, it's going to be capturing the sound vibration of these 12 really key dimensions of the soul.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I think this is how people grow, because it's all there waiting.
Mm. Mm. So to whet people's appetite for what is to come, you've agreed to actually bring through a sound here on the film. Do you want to say?
I have, and I'm taking a crystal into my hand, because the crystalline grid of the earth is a very powerful way of helping me focus, because what I'm doing is using what I would call the quantum consciousness to do this, which is the soul energy. But the crystalline energy of earth, as far as I'm concerned, is how it all gets organised, even biological life. So when I hold a crystal, I'm not holding a crystal, I'm holding the whole crystal earth. Or all of it. We all can do that. As soon as you pick a crystal up, if you take that moment, you're holding every crystal that's in the earth. And I use that to focus it, because then it makes the sound physically possible. My physical body is used. Now, what I have to do is just have a little, I'm meditating. I will try not to, I can't say it will take 1 minute or 5 minutes. It won't take a long time, because I've already prepared, I hope. But the focus I've given to this is the song between the physical earth and its crystalline energy, and the subtle energy of earth, which is the gateway to the spiritual world. So what I'm going to ask for is the sounds that represent that. I have to sit quietly for a little bit and hold the crystal, so and I might say a few words out loud, if I may, about what I'm doing, so people can understand it. I may need to close my eyes for a moment, but hopefully like a little meditation. So what I'm going to do is I'm focusing on things which we all do, and I always do this with all my groups. I acknowledge that I breathe while I'm in this body in total harmony with the breath of the earth, the giving and the receiving that it is. It's a beautiful gift, and all giving and all receiving, if they are truly of the essence of that nature, are always part of each other. I also acknowledge and be grateful for being in harmony with all the beautiful rhythms of nature. This isn't to do with whether we're perfectly well or not. Underneath it, we have those rhythms, and good healing is about bringing those rhythms back into consciousness. But underneath all the noise, there is a wonderful harmonic rhythm with all nature because all nature is how we have this body and all the creative processes within it. And I acknowledge that and link with it as we open ourselves to the beautiful soul song of earth, which is both its physical, its crystalline energy especially, and the subtle energy, which is of the earth and of our body, which I would regard as how we communicate with the spiritual world within us and in everything. If we don't communicate really any other way, then people channel it, people bring it, we all may do that, but ultimately it's in there. And I'm going to just focus for a short while without speaking and allow that connection to grow. At some point I may tone a sound. I like to do a sound myself sometimes, and a simple om, which to me represents creation. And that's my way of saying, I'm ready, let these sounds come. So there'll be a little quiet time for a moment. Or some words may come to me. I will just let it be as it is. Body, mind and spirit, heart and soul are all singing, always. Being the beautiful nature of earth and the doorway to knowing that the light within you is beautiful and will grow. Always acknowledge the beautiful gifts of nature as your doorway to the higher consciousness. Take a moment each day to thank nature and feel it. These sounds are in you anyway. Even if you don't hear them physically, they are there. They are communicating. If you honour it, it will grow. love to yourself. It's not ego. It's acknowledging the beauty that you are, that we all are. Don't be afraid to love yourself. It is. I think it's worth reminding people that what they've heard is a bridge. It helps the mind, but don't forget, these sounds aren't there anyway. And if you just take a few minutes each day and tune into nature, you may hear them in your mind. You may hear them, but don't look for that. Just feel it. Feel it, because it's heart-centered. And it's there. And when we do our work together, the sounds in the constellations and all their frequencies will do the same service. Open the mind to all the possibilities within them.
What I noticed with this sound, because I've heard obviously different sounds from the other work we've done together, is that this was like a low, constant. It felt like an earth, like a sound that was linked to the earth. Whereas when we've heard the sounds of the planets, they've had all kinds of variation and variety and different tones going on and even tunes going on, and absolutely feeling almost like songs.
Yeah, I think this was very earth-centered, and then the higher sounds to me are sort of all the crystals singing. And then the crystals singing, because everybody who's got a body has crystalline vibration.
So is it also to do with the people, you said this before, that the people who are present in the space also,
absolutely.
It's also, so it is a collective experience, and that may even kind of,
we can affect it,
affect the way that we hear the sounds.
Exactly, because that's the whole thing about the discoveries in quantum physics, isn't it? It's sometimes when you measure something, it's different because you're looking at it.
So it's not just an objective sound, and we can say, well, that is the sound. It's also that's the sound that was heard because of also the context.
Sometimes I think it's a bit like an iceberg. The bit you see is beautiful, but there's 2/3 of it you don't see. But if you feel it, it's there. So you go into the part. It's a heart thing to feel what's there, even beyond what you're hearing. So I think that's really important. Wonderful.
When we did the planet workshops a few years ago, we actually timed the workshops for particular planetary alignments, didn't we? We would do 2 planets that were actually making a particular alignment at the time. That's right.
I still use them in my work, and some people, I always notice when people hear them for the first time, they are just in wonder. It's really amazing.
It's a wonderful thing. It's extraordinary. I mean, it's just hearing that now, just if you can experience this far, watching on the film, but it's to be in the presence of it here is really quite.
But I think it does. Somebody once said to me, "Surely the recording isn't as good." I think recording is still the quantum field. It carries it, but if you put a mind in the way and says, "Oh, it can't be the same," then it won't be. You put that aside. You just listen, or like you would listen to words. If you're recording words about what you're doing, it's still as important, and it still does the same thing as if you're in the room. And it doesn't really make a difference at all, I think.
Yeah.
You've got to abandon the barriers in the mind.
Yeah.
And then it works.
Mm. Mm. Well, for those of you watching, I hope that's inspired you. I hope that's, you know, if you've not experienced this before, if you've not experienced Tareth's work before, then I hope it's, you know, giving you some insight into the power of it and the healing potential of this. So the idea of actually combining the deep medicine of the Zodiac in what I can bring, combined with what you're bringing, just it excites me so much.
Yeah, me
what's
too.
possible with this, and really, if you can come along, I think this is going to be a popular series of workshops. I have the dates somewhere. Where do we have the dates? I'll just tell you what the dates are. So the first weekend is in November. It's the 3rd and 4th of November. All the workshops are happening in Glastonbury. 3rd and 4th of November is the first one. The second one is after Christmas, the 12th and 13th of January 2019. And the third workshop is in March of next year, the 9th and 10th of March. So the first one is the 3rd and 4th of November. Hopefully, if you're interested, you'll be able to make those dates. The details are currently on my website, which is kairosastrology.co.uk. That's Kairos astrology.co.uk. I'll put links on the page. And yeah, I think there's an incredible potential here.
Very. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah,
Looking forward to it.
So thank you so much, Tareth.
No, thank you too for giving
to do that.
Because I love working with other people in this way, and I'm really grateful, and I'm looking forward to it a lot.
So yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Hope you can sign up for the course.
Indeed.
Yeah. Many blessings.
Thank you.